Happy Sunday. Hi, James. Hey, Phil. Hi, Alan. How is everybody doing? How is everyone's week? Hi, Angelo. Hi, Bobby. I'm dressed up for y'all today. Hi, Janet. How's everybody? How's everybody's week? Guys, I just feel like the week is going by so fast. Again, it's just like we're about to hit the end of July. We're July 20th. Hey, Wit. Angelo said you did that. Hey, Karen. Hi. Karen said, hi, everyone. Bobby said, me and my family is thinking about moving to Riverview. I know what you meant. Hi, Maui. Karen, the weeks are going by so fast. I'm just like, what is going on? You know, I was already looking at the kids. I have to go through the kids' uniforms because I'm like, okay, what are we doing? What are we doing with their uniforms, right? Because they go to a charter school. So can you believe their shirts are like $25 a piece? So I have 4 in the charter school because Malachi got kicked out. So he's in another school and I could just buy him the plain collared shirts. And then my oldest son is in high school, so he doesn't need a uniform. But man, everything's expensive. I was already looking at the school list and I'm just dreading going to Target and doing the school list because I sometimes there were a few years that they offered like school list kind of like packages where they did it for you type of thing, and I was looking for that this year, but I don't see that option because listen, school shopping with 6 kids, like 6 different shopping lists and all this other stuff is a headache. So we definitely cover Riverview. Katrina handles that area. We were actually you guys are gonna see her beautiful face in Tuesday's video. We did a really nice new home in Tampa. It was on a corner lot, no HOA, really, really nice house, really nice neighborhood. But let me tell you guys, so of course, you got the hood in a lot of different areas, blah, 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 right? The ones in Orlando, I know, right? So one of the houses that we were gonna go check out, I was getting there before Katrina was. Guys, I got off the highway and I was like, make sure my doors were locked. I was like, oh no, oh no. And Vic's like, let's just see. You know, it's the house is still a half a mile, right? So we keep driving and it's just getting worse. It's getting worse. We got, people slumped up on a corner like this. I was like, nope, I don't care how beautiful this house may be or anything like this. I'm not doing it. I'm not getting out this car. And I couldn't confidently be like, oh, yeah, look at this beautiful house, knowing that, no. So we drove past the house. Literally, the right side of the house was train tracks, guys. I said, absolutely not. No, thank you. I said no. And I don't know. The pictures are nice. I wasn't going inside. I wasn't leaving my car. And we just drove to the next house because we were like, no, 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 not here, not on this YouTube channel. All right, let's see. Angelo said, patiently waiting on some great buying opportunities in the Tampa Bay area, Pinellas County resident. Oh, Okay, so I'm actually at Katrina's house now. I'm in she lives in Wesley Chapel. So yesterday we were in Tampa. We did one of the houses, like I said, beautiful neighborhood, beautiful house, literally 15 minutes away from downtown Tampa. Everything was closed. Today, everything was close to the house. Today we did a community in Wesley Chapel, beautiful community, beautiful house built by Madame Homes. So that's going to be on the channel within the next couple of weeks. Alan said, wait until you get older. Times flies faster. By 10 years fly for, oh man, I couldn't imagine. Karen said, I was saying the same thing. My daughter does too. It's crazy how much they cost. My daughter is in a charter high school and her shirts have to have the logo on them. I agree. And so for the kids charter school, they're like, it can only be bought with this specific vendor. And like I said, a shirt is like $25 times, they need at least three shirts, because then they have their gym shirt. So that's four. And then, we could wash the clothes. I wash clothes every day. So I think three shirts per child is good. But then that's what, 3 times 4, that's 12, 12 times 25. Like, it's a lot of money. Phil said, I'm retired from retail, so I'll tell you the best way to do it. Buy it online and pick it up in the store. You think for school supplies, are you talking about, Phil? Bobby said, I'm thinking about reaching out to her. Yes, Bobby, she got you. Guys, you guys are going to fall in love with Katrina. Like, seriously, her energy, she's amazing. She's amazing. I'm super excited to have her a part of my team. Phil said it's like being back in Brooklyn. Vic, when we were in the car, Vic was like, oh, you guys want to time travel back into the 80s, right? In the city and things like that. I was like, absolutely not. Karen said, no, I have that here in the Bronx, not going anywhere to buy a house where I don't feel comfortable and safe. Girl, I'm right there with you. James said, I saw a YouTube video that claimed Beverly Hills was the hood and nothing worthwhile there. Oh, I would disagree with that, right? I feel like you have a hood in every neighborhood type of thing, right? But Beverly Hills, when I tell you, it is a beautiful area. Pine Ridge specifically, right? It's a really, 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 really big community. You have acre plus lots. They have boarding for the horses, amenities, walking trails, horses trails, and all of this other stuff. So Pine Ridge specifically, it's a beautiful area. It's a beautiful community. You have the stores within literal minutes from Pine Ridge. So I wouldn't say so. Like I said, there's a hood in everywhere. You got the hood in Orlando. You got the hood in Davenport. You got the hood in Winter Garden, right? You got the hood in Tampa. You got the hood in Staten Island and Brooklyn and all that, right? Phil said, yes, school supplies. You know what? That's actually not a bad idea. I'm going to go ahead and do that. Pally said, have you done any videos homes in Montverde, Florida? I heard Bella Colina is a wonderful community to live in. Yeah, Bella Colina is a beautiful community. I haven't necessarily done a house tour there yet. I do plan on doing it. Those houses are really big. You could buy a lot in there too and build. But it is a beautiful community. Montverde it's a beautiful community as well. Karen said gym shirts and gym sweatpants and blue pants and only all black shoes. I believe that. Phil said, yes, just like in any state, in any neighborhood, you have good parts and bad parts. I lived in Frog and the Hen, the Bronx, which was a very, very nice neighborhood. Yeah, you have really nice neighborhoods in the Bronx, like Rosedale. I remember I used to live, so when I lived in the Bronx, I lived Mashula Parkway, Jerome and Mashula Parkway. That's where I lived. I lived in a building. And then we moved to an area in the Bronx called Rosedale. And that was a nice neighborhood too. But then we moved back to Staten Island. And Staten Island, I lived so many places in Staten Island. My favorite place to live in Staten Island was like South Beach. And before I moved out of Staten Island, I lived in New Dorp. So guys, things are happening here in the Central Florida area as far as, we're still seeing really good incentives. I've seen interest rates as low as 3.99, and that's fixed too. So I'm super excited to see the incentives that are happening. Now, I just checked out a community not too far away in Davenport. Right off, it's not far from 27. You're 5 minutes away from I-4. You're 5 minutes away from Posner Park. It's called Windstone, and I'm actually gonna debut it in my channel. So you have Stanley Martin, which I personally love Stanley Martin. Um, you have two stories and single story homes. You're gonna have Casa Fresca. Their largest home is gonna be a 5 bedroom, 3.5 bath, 3 car garage. Um, then in that community, you're also going to have Lennar. I think I saw one of their floor plans was like a 6 bedroom, one of their 6 bedroom floor plans. So I'm excited about that community. It does have a CDD. I think it's about, I want to say it was like 3,000 a year. The HOA was like $85 quarterly, I want to say. I can't remember. But now is the time to get in, especially when a community literally just opens, because by the time the community closes out, which will be in a few years, you will have instant equity. That's what happened to me. I bought at 306, and by the time that same house, by the time the community closed out, which was like 4 years later, that same house that I bought was going for about 450. So I highly encourage you guys, if you're looking to get into a new construction community, you could get into something that literally just opens, because you're going to get the best deal off of that. You're going to get more incentives. That's the same thing on like when you have a community closing out, they just want to get rid of the houses, and you get some really good incentives too. Okay. Karen said, I'm in Clayson Point, Shore Haven, which is great. I love that. Yeah. JP said, my husband's grandparents lived in Rosedale section of the Bronx. Oh, this is a small world. Stevenson said 3.99 fixed. Which builders? DR Horton right now is offering a 3.99 fixed. Any area, JP said, any areas of new builds with low or no bonds. Bond meaning the CDD, I assume. So I mean, let me see. In Davenport right now, brand new communities, they all have CDD, except Lansing Homes Preservation Point. They don't have a CDD in that community. I think that one is on the verge of coming, like closeout. I'm not too certain. But most of the communities in Davenport right now do have CDDs. Haines City, you have a mix. So there are communities where you don't have a CDD, and then the most of them have a CDD. Same thing for every area is mixed, but the majority for Davenport at the moment, most of the communities do have a CDD. Phil said, my wife Renee would like to know if we sign with you, do we pay you commission, or does the seller pay you commission? So what happens is that I charge a certain percentage, right? And let's say if the builder or the seller was only offering X percent, and let's say if it was a 0.5% difference, then my clients just they pay that at the closing table, right? But it's not like a deal breaker. But most of the builders are paying for what they're offering in commission is what I charge. So then you wouldn't pay anything. Billy said Rosedale is upper crust. I wasn't in Rosedale for too long, so I honestly don't remember it. I remember most is Jerome and Mashula. Big Daddy 170 said, hi Alexis, we're live with you from the Bronx. Okay. My wife Madi and daughter Stephanie says hello. Hi Madi and Stephanie. We're looking for homes in Lakeland and Winter Haven. What do you think of these two areas? God bless. I really do like Lakeland and I like Winter Haven. I think they're actually Winter Haven and Lakeland are going to be combined like as a metropolitan area. Winter Haven, I feel like is slept on. Winter Haven, there's so many lakes if you like to fish. There's just a lot of things happening in those areas, a lot of big developments like new hospitals. The prices are still fairly low in Winter Haven. So I really do like Winter Haven. It's a vibe. It definitely feels like a community there. And same with Lakeland. Of course, like there are areas in Lakeland where it's just a little bit more older, or you do have your parts where you have older homes, but no HOA, right? Or you do have the new construction homes in Lakeland as well. I do like both areas. James said, I understand mortgage incentives, but what builders have incentives for cash buyers? I mean, James, all of the builders have incentives for cash buyers. So it depends on what's happening, right? So it could be where they're offering like flex cash, right? So for example, in Ocala, K Hub Nanny does this a lot, right? So they'll be like, okay, we're offering $20,000 flex cash, whether you're a cash buyer or you're financing, right? And what you could do with that, especially being a cash buyer, you can take the 20 flex and you could pay whatever closing cost you have, and then you can take it off the price of the home. That's what K Hub Nanny does. Now, different builders have different rules, right? Some builders won't they won't let you take all of it off the purchase price, because then you can run into appraisal issues down the road as well. But there's definitely all the builders have cash incentives for cash buyers. So most likely your incentive is going to be like if you're building from the ground up, right? Maybe you're going to have a better incentives with the design center, right? Because it depends on your purchase price, what your closing costs are going to be, but they're never going to be more than what you would do, what it would be with financing. You're welcome, Phil. You're welcome, Big Daddy. That sounds really weird to say. What is your name? The only person I call Big Daddy is my husband. Hi, Sarah. Guys, this next couple of weeks are just so much is happening. I'm super, super excited. So this week is going to be very busy. I'm meeting with some clients. I have closings this week. I am getting ready to head next. I leave Saturday. We're going to Denver. So I have like a coaching mastermind in Denver. And then I'm flying out to San Diego. I'm excited. I'm going to be speaking at Inman, which is a really, really, really big deal. So I'm super excited about that. And then from San Diego, I'm going to be flying to Dallas because I'm going to be speaking on stage in Dallas. So I'm very, very excited. Your girl is evolving. And then from Dallas, we're going to come back to Florida, and then we're going to take the kids on a cruise for a few days. So the cruise is a work personal cruise type of thing. So JP said, wow, Inman is big. It is. I'm excited. I'm like really, really, really excited about that. I had like we had a prep call on Friday, and you could like I'm super sassy, right? A lot of flavor, and so I'm definitely different from the other panelists, but I'm super excited. Karen said the house you showed in Kalesa with the already installed pool was gorgeous. Did you say it like that in your head, Karen? Since I wanted to buy it all cash, a little too much money, but for me, but listen, that house, when I saw it, I was like, oh my gosh, I need to do this. it was a big house, like a little bit over 3,800 square feet. It already had the pool, no rear neighbors, fenced in. It was a really, really, really nice house. I did like it. A lot of people, I've seen a lot of people commenting, not just on YouTube, but like my other social media platforms where, oh, about jobs in Ocala. I mean, there are some the people, you know, you have to think Ocala is horse country, right? People with horses have money, right? So you have entrepreneurs, even your 9 to 5s, you have executives, you have people working from home that their company is in New York or in a city that you will make money, right? So I love when people work from home and they live in, like, let's just say Ocala, and their job is located in New York, because you're making New York money, but you have Florida expenses, which is not as much as New York. Fernando said Whit Grice sells Kalesa. Yes, Whit does sell Kalesa. He's on my he's here. So I think Fernando Mercado Cruz knows you. So yeah, Whit does sell Kalesa. Whit is great. So yeah, incentives, guys, they're going in strong, right? They say that there's gonna be a interest rate cut. I'm hoping, right? But we don't know. We don't know. But I'm hoping to. Fernando, are you a lender? I think Fernando, that name sounds super familiar. I think Fernando is one of Kalesa's Kalesa's preferred lender. So tomorrow's video is going to be of we did a house in Ocala, corner lot, 310,000, super cute. And then Tuesday is going to be Tampa. We did, and you'll see Katrina. So Katrina is, make sure you guys show some love in the comments for Katrina. She was so nervous, but she did so good. What I love about her and I is that it's a natural flow between us. So it's a really good video. I'm excited for you guys to see it. Yeah, Fernando is a preferred lender. That's what I figured. Barry said, is there a reason why a lot of homes don't have the garage entrance on the side? So honestly, Barry, is just going to depend on the lot too, right? So it's going to depend on the community. It's going to depend on it's going to depend on the builder. It's going to depend on the county, right? Because sometimes depending on the county, you can't have a side garage, right? So it depends. I don't see a lot of side garages in like the new communities in like Davenport. I haven't really seen any. You'll see more of those in like the bigger lots, like Beverly Hills, right? Ocala. So yeah, I'm trying to think. You see the side garage on bigger lots. I just wanted to pop in. Yes. Everybody say hi to Katrina. Hi. Barry's gonna, I think it's Barry who he's thinking about Riverview. So you're gonna help him out. Eddie said, what do you think, Winter Haven, new construction, or older homes? We like the older homes because they have better foundation and spacious. Listen, one thing I will say is that I really, really, really do like older homes in Winter Haven, because I've toured a lot of older homes in Winter Haven and they have so much character. And I absolutely love it, right? I have clients who are like, listen, I have no interest in new construction. I don't want new construction. I want an older home. I want something that has character and like depth to it. And sometimes, we all know that new construction can be like very cookie cutter and things like that. So listen, if you like older homes, Winter Haven has some beautiful older homes. So does Lakeland. Lakeland has some really, really nice older homes in like areas with no HOA, right? On a nice lot. So that's something to think about. Karen said, yes, I retired in 2021 from New York City Transit. And wait, what did you do with New York City Transit? And don't need to get another job unless I choose to in the future. Hoping the sale of this house will afford me to build from the ground up. All cash. Yes, girl. But what did you do for in NYC Transit? Because my husband Vic's dad retired from transit as well. Eddie said Rachel at Kalesa Township was excellent, beautiful homes. Yeah, Rachel is great too. So Eddie, you it kind of sounds like you did some. Are you working with another real estate agent? Or what are you thinking? Because if you went to Kalesa, were you working with another real estate agent at that time when you went to Kalesa Township? Vincenza said, "Hi, how are you?" Hi, Vincenza. I wanted to ask you, are there any properties in Ocala where you can run a small business out of the house? Example, small hair salon. It's honestly going to depend. Um, it depends, right? I mean, I've seen where even in places where they say you can't do it, people still do it type of thing, right? But I'm pretty sure like there are of course, there are county rules, and if you're in an HOA, there's HOA rules as well. So it's going to be very specific to like the area, the community, the county. Well, if it's in Ocala, it's Marion County. So it's going to depend if you're in an HOA or if you're in the deed restricted community, because there are still restrictions. Andrea said, "Hi, Alexis. Quick question. How many inspections are typically done on a new home from the foundation up? Just trying to get a better understanding of the full process." So, Andrea, it's going to depend, right? So, the builders always have their own the builders have to have their own inspections in the sense of the county, right? So the county is inspecting, like, let's say the foundation, then they're doing pre-drywall, then after the drywall, right? And then final inspection. That's kind of like the same thing when it comes to, like, let's say if you're doing a brand new home and you're doing a to be built, you can do what is called a phased inspection. And the phased inspection is just that before they do the foundation, right? Before they put the drywall in, after they put, I don't know if it's one after the drywall, I'm not sure. But then you also have like a final one as well. So what happens is that I always recommend the third party inspection company, because even though you have the county who has to give you, you pass this phase and you go into the next one, like I still don't feel comfortable, because in my in my experience I've had where there was this one community, and all the houses got CO'd, which means that they passed all the county inspections and all of that stuff. But come to find out that the attic wasn't insulated, right? So how the heck could that get passed, right? So I always say, you should definitely hire a third party inspection company. Now, one thing to always note too is that the third party inspection company is very generic in the sense of, like, let's say this one always comes on the inspection report, that the garage door coming into the house is not self-closing, right? But that's not a building requirement, and the builders are not going to do that. So that's something just like, okay, you just have to kind of like pass over type of thing. Karen said, "Hi, Katrina." Eddie said, "Yes." Eddie said, "You the best." So out of curiosity, Eddie, if you were working with another real estate agent, like how did that go? Are you still working with that realtor? Does that realtor also cover the Winter Haven, Lakeland area? Because if you're looking, like for example, I cover all of Central Florida, right? I live in Davenport. I cover Ocala. And Ocala is about an hour and a half for me, but I always make the trip, right? I think Ocala is a great area to buy in, and I have many clients that I've helped sell their house and help them buy a house in Ocala, right? But then I also cover where I live, like the Davenport. I cover Winter Haven. I cover Lakeland. Then my team covers the Tampa Bay area and things like that, right? So I'm just curious if you're still working with that other real estate agent, or like what's that situation? Fernanda said new construction will always have lower insurance premiums. James said, are there any more Richmond American big garage communities coming up? So there is one, there are actually a few of them. You still have the one in Winter Haven, Eagle Lake. You have one in DeLand. And I want to say there's a few other ones with the RV garages. I just have to look to see where. I know the one in Ocala, the Richmond American community coming up in Ocala, they're not going to have that floor plan. But I really do like Richmond American homes. Karen said, I was a station supervisor level 2. I worked with the Office of Station Programs that handled the rehabilitation projects for the last 22 years of my 33-year career. Wow, that's amazing. You're welcome, Vincenza. Alan retired from New Jersey Transit. I love that. I love that. Eddie said, my sister-in-law bought in Winter Haven and we want to start shopping there and in Lakeland. I would like for you to do a video out there if possible. We've done many, many, many videos in Winter Haven. I've done a few in Lakeland. So we just do everywhere. So yeah, Winter Haven, we've done quite a few communities, resale, older homes in Winter Haven. Do you prefer LED lights under the cabinets, or that doesn't matter to you? Me and Katrina were just actually talking about that in the house that we were in today. I do like the LED cabinets, the LED lights under the cabinets, but I like the ones that are come already installed and you're not putting a strip under there, or like the older ones. But I really do like the lighting underneath the cabinets. Marlene said, "Do you work the Titusville area?" I mean, it depends. It depends if my clients, because I have had clients where it's like, no, we definitely want to work with you guys. And you know, and I'm like, okay, we'll handle the Titusville area, or if it's just like too far out, then I always have partner agents in the area. Kelly said, hi, Alexis, just getting home from work and wanted to check in. Katrina was lovely and so relatable. Oh my gosh, Katrina is amazing, guys. Like, she really is. She's just so light spirited. She's very, very, very relatable. She's amazing. And I love that we just kind of have like that same vibe, the same work ethic. And just both being from New York, we kind of speak the same language. And I'm sure that you guys are going to absolutely love her. She really is. She's amazing. She's so kind-hearted. She really is. Eddie said, too far and long commute. No problem with the realtor. She is great. Oh, I love that. I love that. Yeah. So guys, so I actually had, I had a consultation with a potential client, right? And she's great, you know, talking on the phone, great conversation or whatever, right? But she started to go on to say, yeah, you know, I'm talking to a few different realtors and I'm not signing anything. I just want to see who's gonna get me the best deal, right? And I just had to be very honest with you. And I'm like, I'm not your girl. I'm really not. Like, my clients that call me, they already know that I'm their girl. Like, that I got them, that I'm gonna get them the best deal. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And I think she was a little like shocked, right? And she was like, she went on to say that, I think 4 days she was going to be with one agent, and then 2 days she was going to be with another agent. And I'm like, yeah, nah, that ain't going to work for me. I can't block somebody in my calendar for if you're not committed to working with me, right? So that's just to go to show you guys, if you're working with other realtors, you're not ready to commit to anyone, I am not your girl. I'm really not. I only work exclusively with my clients. My clients that call me, they're like, I know you got me. Whatever your commission difference is, I don't care. I know you're gonna get the best deal for me. I know you're gonna take the best care of me, and that's, it is what it is. Can real estate get toxic? I mean, I feel like any industry gets super toxic. You just have to be around the right people. And once you feel that it's a toxic environment, you need to like cut ties and keep it moving. That's it is, I feel like, it's very important to surround yourself around the right people, right? There's just, even in, there's going to be toxicity, a toxic environment in every workplace. But honestly, I ain't got time for it. I don't got time for it. I got a mission. I'm helping buyers and sellers evolve in real estate. I'm helping realtors evolve in real estate. I'm helping myself evolve in real estate. I got 6 kids that I need to take care of and raise and feed. And yeah, it's just, when you have so much responsibility, and I spoke about this, I think last week or the week before, is like, I have a lot on my shoulders because so many people depend on me, right? Of course, my children depend on me, my husband depends on me, Katrina and her family depend on me, all my staff depend on me, right? So this is why I am the way I am, in the sense of, I cannot waste time. Like, if you are not committed to working with me, I'm sorry. I have to move on to the next person that actually truly values me and my team. Because we're on a mission. And again, yes, I have a lot to carry. Like, there's just no wasting time. Janet said, you will be my girl. I know, Janet. I know. Karen said, I can't imagine trusting anyone else with helping me purchase my forever home. Thank you, Janet. Vincenza said, you have good energy. I want to come and work for you. I try to put good energy out there. What you put out there, you receive tenfold, I believe. And it's not always easy, guys. You guys know my story. And even, sometimes it's been getting really heavy with my kids. Just like Malachi is about to get kicked out of summer camp. He's like on the verge, and this is the last week of summer camp, so I think they're really just trying to hold out and just be like, okay, I'm gonna try with this kid. So I'm excited to say that we've got him into to see a psychiatrist, even though it's telehealth. A lot of things are telehealth now. And so we're just kind of working through some things and just trying to do what we can for him. It's hard. It's hard when, raising children is very, very hard, but it's even harder when you're raising someone else's children. You guys just, you have different genetics, and genetics play a really, I want to say, the biggest part, because they say environment plays a part in someone's upbringing, but I would say genetics sometimes overrules the or overpowers the environment, right? And so we've had some difficult times with my adopted children. But this all goes to say is that, we made a commitment to give them a better life, right? And give them a fighting chance. And so we are just doing everything in our power to make sure that they don't make sure that they don't go into like what their biological parents are about, right? So their biological parents literally are like 5 generations deep into like addiction and things like that. And so I could see the traits in them, and very impulsive and don't make the right decisions. And so we're really trying our hardest. I really don't want them to end up in jail like their biological parents. And sometimes Malachi does things that I'm just like, I really like, I'm just like, kid, please, you could get away with it now, being that you're smaller. But I really fear for him in that sense, because he's very impulsive, and it's like he can't control his impulses. And he makes a lot of bad decisions. And I'm just like, I try to be like, hey, we really need to shape up, because I don't want to see you in a place that you shouldn't be in. So it's hard, guys. It really is. But like I said, we made the decision to give children a better life, right? And a chance. So I know that they are better with me than they would be with their biological parents. But I'm going to keep doing everything that I can possibly do, get the resources that we need. And they have, because they're adopted through the state, they have Medicaid. But I'm thinking about getting a secondary insurance, like a private insurance, because the thing about Medicaid, right, is that the services, the service providers, a lot of the service providers, man, they like high turnover rate is extremely like uh prominent in like the social work industry. And so like I have a case manager, and I got a call on Friday, like, hey, this is such and such. I'm your case manager. I'm like, well, what happened to the other case manager? And, oh, she's no longer on the case. I'm like, are you guys like, is there no communication like to let me know what's going on? That's the same thing with the therapist in that sense. When you use Medicaid, I feel like it's a high turnover rate. And then it sucks for the kids, because they finally get comfortable, right, with talking to that one person. And then it's just like, well, that person left, and here you go, here's a new one, which completely, like, it's not fair. The foster system is set up for failure. Vincenza said, I completely understand. I have an adopted son. Oh, I love that, friend. Vincenza. Karen said, God bless you and your family. I pray your son will open up to the doctor and he can work through any issues he may have at this time and in the future. Me too. Thank you so much. James said, I've been in business for 45 years and I used to fight the daily drama, and now I just ignore it. Never let people's nonsense impact your life. Exactly that. Kelly said the relationship with your realtor has to have commitment, communication, loyalty, and trust, because they will ensure positive outcomes. Absolutely. Sarah said, don't let them go astray. As long as you really listen and be there for them, they will thrive. Yes. Yes. When people ask me, how are you doing? I'll be like, my very best. That's how I'm doing. That's what I'm doing. I'm just doing my very best, right? Because you guys got to remember, at the end of the day, like, we're human. Yes, we are parents, but we're humans. Like, sometimes I need to put myself in timeout. Like, if I see that I'm very just irritable or just very like snappy, I'm like, okay, mommy needs a timeout. Like, I need a, or sometimes I get overstimulated, and I didn't even know that was a thing, right? I was just like, why am I just like, I can't, like, especially when they get home, and Cassidy, oh my gosh, she'll just go like on and on and on, and I'll just let her, and then I'm just like I can't, because then all you hear is like in the background, you have all of the kids talking, you have the dogs barking, you have Vic that he don't even know what's going on either, and I'm just like, oh yeah, I'm overstimulated, and I just need a minute. And that's where I'm learning to be like, hey, listen, I hear you, I'm here, but I'm overstimulated, and mommy needs a minute. We're human. I'm not perfect. James said your children are extremely fortunate to have you. Thank you, James. You know, I just try to be better and do better than what I had, right? Again, I'm not perfect, but I always try to be better than I was yesterday. Rhonda said, love how you keep it real. That's the only way to do things is to keep it 100. Keep it real, all the way real. There's no other way. And I'm just not phony. Like what you see is what you get. And that's why when back to kind of like when people call me and they're like, oh well, you know, I'm shopping realtors, and I'm like, okay, well, you let me know. You could talk to everyone who you want to talk to. If you decide you want to work with me, please give me a call, right? Like I honestly don't have anything to prove, especially if you've been following me for so long on YouTube, right? What you see is what you get. Lisa said, I'm a new subscriber and you are my realtor for Central Florida. God will continue to bless you for the love you are giving. I'm excited. However, I will be looking to move 2027 when my daughter graduates. Oh, thank you so much, Lisa. I'm actually super excited. I have a family coming from Ireland this week. Their tradition is when they get here, the kids love IHOP. And so I'm gonna meet with them this week. We're gonna go have breakfast at IHOP, which I'm excited because I love me some IHOP pancakes. And then we're gonna go explore some of the communities. And then they're gonna go on a cruise. They are really big like Disney fans, so I'm excited. I love being able to meet different people from different walks of life. Living in different countries. It's just super, super exciting. Wish you sold in Jacksonville. I'm looking, you know, yeah, Jacksonville is too far for me. My plan honestly is I really want to have like Evolve Estates Group in every area, in the sense of like Central Florida. There's so many connecting cities, right, and surrounding areas. That's easy for me to do. But Tampa Bay, we have Katrina. But yeah, I want somebody in Miami. I want somebody in Palm Bay. I want somebody in Jacksonville. I want somebody in Gainesville. Maybe the Panhandle, right? So that's my goal. But nobody will come on my channel on the Evolve Estates channel if their vibes are not there. If it's we have to vibe. That's very important. We have to vibe. Like Katrina, me and her, we vibe. She's a great soul. We vibe. So I pray that I find more people, more realtors that have that kind of same vibe, same energy, that I can introduce to you guys. But right now it's just her and I. Whit said, you want me to cover Jacksonville? Wait, oh my goodness. You've been at Calessa for how long have you been at Calessa already? Hi, Anna. Somebody, New Killer said, we would move to Ocala, but we're scared of sinkholes. So I feel like there's a chance of sinkholes anywhere, right, in Florida. I wouldn't be, I personally wouldn't be scared of sinkholes. And if you're that scared, I mean, number one, it's not a, end all be all, right? There's remediation for sinkholes if you happen to have a sinkhole, right? If you're scared about a sinkhole, you can add an additional insurance premium just to cover you in case of a sinkhole, right? So I wouldn't be scared of a sinkhole. What said Colin built total 6 years. Oh my gosh, 6 years. I always say Calessa, but yes, you know what I meant. Colin built. Yeah. Janet said, when I'm ready to move, I'll become a realtor and work with you. Come on over, Janet. I love it. I love it. I'm just looking for the good vibes, great vibes. I need to know that my people are in good hands, right? Because you guys are my YouTube fam. Like, I absolutely love you guys. We've been rocking for a while now. I can't believe we're coming up on a year that we've been doing the lives. Like, that is bananas, guys. Like, bananas. But do you guys have any questions that I can help answer? Like I said, tomorrow's Ocala video. Tuesday is Tampa with Katrina. I can't wait for you guys to see her in video, in action. I'm gonna try to this week. I'm gonna try to do that new. I'm gonna do Stanley Martin in Davenport, the Windstone community. I'm gonna do that one. I don't know if I'm gonna do. I don't know. I don't know that I will do Ocala for next week. I have to just check my schedule. But what else is going? Let me just make sure that I'm covering everything that I wanted to cover. Oh my gosh, Katrina's making crunch wraps for dinner. She was like, "Can we record and by with?" She was like, "Can we record and I'll make you dinner?" Because we were supposed to record two houses yesterday, but that one house was in the hood, and I was like, "Absolutely not." So, and you guys know that I don't work Sundays, right? But she was like, "If you come, I'll make you dinner and all that." And I was like, "You know, the way to my heart is some good food." So here we are at her house. Let me see. I wanted to make sure that I covered everything that I wanted to cover. Okay. Do you like white marble tile or black tile with the white streaks in the bathroom? So it depends, but I really do, I like the white marble, but I'm also like a pop of color type of girl too. So I'm not mad at the black tile either. We went to, I think it was one of the houses we did, yes, the house we did yesterday in Tampa. It had like a black and white tiling, and in the niche in the shower it was like black and white. I really like that one. um we Fernando said we have strategic ways where you can live in the Northeast and purchase in Florida. um Kelly said, "What builders have larger bedrooms? Sometimes those bedrooms are so small." I completely agree with you. So what I've been seeing is that, like, where did we see? I like. I'm trying to think of the last couple of builders that I went, and I even noticed. I was like, okay, I was like, these are some really nice size bedrooms. I'm trying to think of where it was, because it depends, right? Because I get what you mean, Kelly, is that, like, for example, a lot of the DR Horton homes, yes, you like the spec builders, the spec homes where the rooms are like not on the largest side, but like I feel like Pulte homes, I want to say their bedroom sizes are a good size. Kalesa, man, the floor plan that I just did, I feel like that had some really, the rooms were a nice size as well. Um, so I can't say for the top of my head, like give you an exact list, but there are builders, like I said, I think Pulte is one of them where they have a good size bedrooms besides the master bedroom, and Kalesa definitely I would say as well. Um, and it's also going to depend on the area too, because they have like different sometimes they have different collections as well. Lisa said, "What about Citrus Springs? I know the area is growing as well. What are your thoughts?" So Citrus Springs, I actually like Citrus Springs. I definitely think that in the near future is going to be kind of similar to Marion Oaks, because um the prices are extremely lower in Citrus Springs than they are in Marion Oaks. So I've had quite a couple of clients already purchase homes in Citrus Springs. But Citrus Springs, it's you're not far from the stores, or it's not necessarily the boonies either. So I do like Citrus Springs. I like that you're close to Crystal River, Crystal Springs around there. So you're not far from like if you wanted the springs and things like that. So I do like Citrus Springs. It's the prices, so you can find the prices thousands and thousands of dollars less expensive than they are in Marion Oaks. A lot of the builders build the same floor plans that they do in Marion Oaks in Citrus Springs for less. Apopka seems nice. Apopka is very nice, and I'm gonna start recording over there too. Apopka, I think, is gonna be the next Winter Garden. There's so much new projects, developments happening in Apopka, and you're not far from Orlando, so Apopka is definitely a growing area, and like I said, I do think it's gonna be the next Winter Garden. Anna said, I gotta check Citrus Springs out. No, you do. I think Citrus Springs is a nice area. Like I said, I've had clients who purchased in Citrus Springs. It is a nice area. James said, I like Onyx homes, but don't like those planned communities. I assume it would always be that way. Yeah. Those are gonna be, they actually just opened up a community in Lady Lake. But yeah, you're gonna have kind of your average community, just like your DR Hortons or any other big builder like that. Anna said, we want to move to Ocala, and we took a drive there one time, but the drive felt far from everything and the place feels isolated. Any advice on that? What more is there? So how long ago was that? Because I was just recently there, and there was a lot of stores. You had your Aldi's, you had all of your shopping, your Walmart, your Publix within minutes from where I was in Citrus Springs. And it, like I said, it did remind me of Marion Oaks, just at a lesser price point. Paulino said, I need your information. I'm trying to get a house in Florida. Paulino, you could definitely reach out to us. I'll put our number here. A lot of people are interested in Beverly Hills as well. I really do like Beverly Hills. I have clients who are building over there. So you have like Miranda Homes, you have Holiday Builders, you do, of course, you have your private builders as well. But I really do like that area. Anna said we drove from Deltona. Yeah, it could have been depending on like where you drove in Citrus Springs. So for example, like I was in Denellen this week, but the part of Denellen that I was in was, we were definitely, in the boonies. It was about 45 minutes from where I was in Marion Oaks. And it was definitely more boony like. So it's gonna depend on, because the Nellen is big, Citrus Springs is big, so it's gonna depend on, where. I noticed some builders add cladding where they put fans in the lanai, adds a nice touch with light. I'm not sure what cladding is. What is cladding? Lisa said, "How is the price range in Beverly Hills comparable to Marion Oaks?" So Lisa, so Marion Oaks and Beverly Hills are, I feel like, completely different, because Marion Oaks, you're gonna have like your typical a quarter of an acre. Yes, there are some acre lots. You don't come across them too often. You do have like the half acre lots, right? I just feel like Beverly Hills, in my opinion, is very much established, in the sense of like just mature trees. You have really you have a mixture of older houses and new houses. But what I absolutely love about, like, let's just say, and I'm talking, when I say Beverly Hills, I'm just talking specifically of the Pine Ridge community, is that you have a mix of like new homes and older homes, but the older homes are so well kept. It really is just a beautiful area. You have the diamonds, the black diamond plaza, where you have your Target, you have your restaurants, you have all your stores, and that's literally within minutes from Pine Ridge and Beverly Hills. So I feel like, in my opinion, I just feel like, if you're looking for something that's just a little bit more, I would say, like, established and quote unquote not necessarily completed, but I feel like there's a lot of character in Beverly Hills, and and they have the acre lots there, even more than an acre. What is cladding? Let me see. Hold on. Cladding. I need to see it to understand. Cladding is an outer layer of material applied to a structure, typically a building. It can be made like wood, metal, brick. Ah, okay, like those. I like those. I do too. I like I've seen, yes, I've seen where they do that in the ceiling of the covered lanai. I completely agree. I like that too. I agree. Molly said, what benefit does a realtor provide when dealing with builders? It seems that it would add to the price needing to pay the added commission. So, Molly, I'm going to be very honest with you. The commission is already built into the price, right? So, if you are not going to use a realtor, you're not going to get a better deal because you didn't have an outside realtor. Okay. Number two, what you have to take into consideration is that the builder's agent works for the builder, right? So, in my opinion, I feel like everybody needs that outside representation because I've had way too many times where the builder's agent is not fighting for the buyer, right? They're saying, oh well, you don't necessarily need a third party inspection because our homes have to go through county inspections, right? Like, no, that's not. No, you definitely do need. I recommend a third party inspection, right? Things like that. What else? There's always, not always, but 95% of the time, there is just more room to negotiate in the sense that even when it comes to builders, right? So that's where I'm okay. What else can we have, right? Can we put a washer and dryer? If it doesn't come with a refrigerator, can we negotiate a refrigerator, right? So you always need that outside representation and somebody who's well skilled and well versed in dealing with builders. And again, you're not saving any type of money if you don't use an outside builder. And a lot of the times, 99% of the times, the seller builder is paying the buyer's agent's commission, and you are not getting a better deal without you having an outside agent. So I read this, I watched this video of a guy, and I said this story before, where he went to one specific builder, and that specific builder only pays a very, very low flat fee for outside agents. Okay. So the buyer was like, well, I'm just going to go directly with the builder, right? I'm not going to use an agent. So he went directly with the builder, and he is in a nightmare. And I think he ended up selling the house or whatever. Nobody walked him through the tax situation, inspection on the house or anything like that. That specific house that he was in, literally, he had to pay, I think his property taxes ended up being $16,000 per year. Mind you, it's only I think it was like a $400,000 house. $16,000 per year. He didn't have that outside representation. That outside representation, what an agent would have been, okay, let's talk to the lender. What are the property taxes looking like, right? After the second year, let's get that outside inspection company because you want to make sure that everything is good, blah, 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 right? And yes, James said, especially if you're out of the state, you need representation, and you need that advocate. You need somebody to advocate for you. So that is the benefit. It's 10 out of 10. You have to have an outside representation. And you know what? Honestly, like where I am in my career, like for example, I personally, those builders who only pay a flat fee, like I don't advertise their houses. If one of my clients are interested in one of those houses, I'm like, hey, listen, this is what they pay. This is what I charge. You would have to come up with the difference, right? Some of my clients would be like, I'm good. They don't treat you guys right. I'm good. I don't care about the house. Or they'd be like, Alexis, I don't care. I'll pay you what I need to pay you. I know you got my back. I know you got my best interest, and let's do it, right? So you have all different types of people. I know my value. I know what I bring to the table, right? And so I've been doing this for a really long time. I sell a lot of houses. I have a lot of relationships with the different builders, agents, and the builders. And I don't have any, there's some builders agents that I'm like, I will not work with them again. I'll go to a different builders, I'll go to a different agent type of thing. But I'm always going to advocate for my clients. I'm always going to do what I feel, what is in their best interest. because at the end of the day, I don't work for the builder. Karen said, I know some things, but it's always a good idea to have another person who is more knowledgeable about real estate when it comes to purchasing a home. Absolutely. I've had, and I'm telling you, don't get me wrong, there are some really good, like there's some really, really, really good builders agents out there, right? But I've had where I went to I would never forget this. This was actually in Kissimmee. And I went to a builder's community and I was speaking to the agent and she was like, I wouldn't mention that there's a CDD in this community. I'm like, excuse me? Like, what do you mean you wouldn't mention that there's a CDD in this community? What? Like, no, I'm mentioning everything that this community, what the facts are, because I will never, ever, ever steer my clients like, oh, I'm not going to tell them that there's a CDD or no, absolutely not. So that's what I'm saying. Like, not all agents are not created equally. They're not. And there's some really good agents out there. I'm not the only great agent out here, right? There's a lot of great agents out here. But when it comes to buying new construction, I really highly recommend you have an outside agent. Don't only work directly with the builder's agent. And that's my 2 cents. So if there's no more questions, I'm about to go eat. I'm starving and then I got to head home. So I hope you guys have Fernando said, not to mention your experience with the process. Many times once the builder takes your deposit, they're extremely difficult to get a hold of. It's a lot. It's a lot to maneuver when you are under contract with a resale, a new build. You definitely want someone who's well versed in this. There's a lot of different aspects that a lot of the outside people don't know that realtors have to do and have to go through, and just the whole process of purchasing a house, right? It's not about just opening doors. You're negotiating, you're handling everything. You're talking to the lender, you're talking to the title company, you're making sure that I feel like that's another point to make, is that a great real estate agent is going to be in contact with your lender, is going to be in contact with the builder's agent, is going to be in contact with the construction manager, is going to be in contact with the title company, making sure that we're all on the same page, right? Because it's very, very important. If we're not on the same page, it's a domino effect. So one thing that I always do is that I'm like, okay, because there's some Colessa is one of them, where the construction managers only talk to the buyers, right? But if the buyers ask for the agent to be a part of the communication, then they allow the agents to be a part of the communication. So I want to make sure that I'm a part of the communication because I want to know what's going on, right? I want to make sure that we're all on the same page. I want to say, okay, if there's any hiccups, what does that look like? What is that going to affect? How can we overcome that, right? What else can we do to make sure that doesn't happen? So it's a lot of work. So I earn every single penny that I get. Karen said, go eat and enjoy the rest of your evening. Good night, everyone. Thank you for all of your support and hard work. Billy said, have a good one, Alexis, and have a great speaking engagement. Yes. So I'll still be on next Sunday. Next Sunday I'll be in Denver, but I'll still be on. The following Sunday I won't be on because we'll be on the cruise. But I hope that you guys found some kind of value in today's video. If you guys have any questions or have any topics that you want to talk about, let me know. I hope you guys have a great week and you guys know how to reach us. Bye.